Russian speakers have two words for blue. Every time they say one, their brain makes a choice English speakers never face. Are there thoughts you are physically incapable of thinking? Not because you lack intelligence, but because your language never gave you the words to build them. You have never noticed this because your language never made you look. That is the point. Russian grammar forces a choice between Goluboy and Senai every time someone describes blue. Research by Winnower et al. At MIT and Harvard showed this is not optional in coding. It is a daily compulsory act of perception. Russian speakers automatically discriminate light from dark blue at the category boundary. English speakers do not. Same eyes, different brains. The same perceptual machinery, forced down different paths by grammatical obligation, and one path is yours. Your brain runs on grooves. Language does not block thoughts, it makes them slide. Think of Roman numerals and long division. Technically possible, practically torture. Language works the same way, not stopping you, just making some thoughts cheaper and others costly. First attempt, languages are just different labels for the same universal thoughts. Research by Athanasopoulos et al. At Lancaster University showed bilinguals disprove this. They switch cognitive modes when switching languages. The labels are not neutral containers. They are active reshaping tools. Researchers at the University of Manchester measured brain responses in Russian and English speakers. Both groups saw the same spectrum. But the Russian speakers' brains were already sorting the colors before they were even trying. The same two eyes, the same input, the same retinal signal. Depending on which hemisphere processes it, you either see the boundary or you do not. The language-dominant left hemisphere discriminates. The right hemisphere does not. Second attempt, the Piraha just lack education. Research by Gordon, 2004, and Frank et al., 2008, showed they cannot count precisely. But they can match exact quantities physically. The problem is not intelligence. It is the cognitive technology they were never given. Third attempt. Culture explains all of it. Language is just a proxy for cultural practice, so language must be doing something active, not cultural. The same brain, the same person, but language changes what they perceive. One possibility researchers are exploring is whether some thoughts are structurally harder to access. Not impossible, but harder. Language reshapes perception beneath conscious awareness. Research by Thierry et al., 2009, at the University of Manchester showed that even in people who insist they cannot tell blue shades apart, their own brain is already telling them apart in ways they cannot feel. Knowing about a distinction is not the same as having the perceptual habit. Knowing Russian has two blues does not give you Russian speakers' perception, the same way knowing that a room has invisible walls does not stop you from walking into them. You have spent your entire life making claims without your language requiring you to have evidence. Research by Tosun et al., 2013 showed that speakers of languages with evidential markers, like Turkish and Quechua, track their information sources habitually. English never asks you to, and you never noticed. If you had been raised speaking Gugu Yemithir, you would right now know which direction is north, automatically, without effort. Research by Boroditsky and Gabi, 2010, demonstrated this. The difference is not talent. It is grammatical obligation that became perceptual habit. Your language formatted you before you could object. Research by Lupien, 2012, at the University of Wisconsin showed that the structures in your brain that are thinking these thoughts right now were installed by the same system that limits them. UNESCO estimates one language dies approximately every 2 weeks. Each death erases a unique way of being conscious, not archived in grammar books, but gone. One possibility researchers are exploring is whether the thoughts you're having right now are actually yours, or whether they are simply what your grammar permits you to think. If this changed how you see even one thing, consider subscribing. We make videos that stay with you long after you close the tab. Thank you for watching.